5 years of failing in Tokyo. Failing as in for not winning. Failing as in for not completing the mission. You won't get them next time, boys. Sorry, millennials and zoomers, but in real life, there are no participation trophies or participation certificates. You win or you lose. And when you keep trying things, you lose three things. Time, money, and time and money. Oh, but why don't you use other people's money? As always, my videos are not structured at all. So this is just me talking to the camera about failing in Japan for the past 5 years. Bro, let me tell you about this killer app idea I have, but just don't let anyone hear, because I don't want anyone I don't want anyone around here to take my idea and become a millionaire, they all say. Yeah, so this idea I have is like you get IoT and you connect it with Ethereum, and there's like AI, but there's a black box. But in this case, the box doesn't exist, because we're not thinking outside the box, we're thinking in the box. We're gonna change the future. We're gonna change the way we think of changing the future. We're gonna change. That's the paradigm shift that we're pushing in our killer app idea. As everyone's favorite TikTok guru dude would say, what is it? Ideas are shit.
Ideas are shit.
And then he'll say something like,
enjoy that. Enjoy eating shit and dirt and bleeding and the grind.
So I'm not going to go exactly over every detail of my failures, but I'll just go through.
I want you to eat shit for the next second.
More or less the 5 things that I kind of failed in the last 5 years. So my first one was I tried to make a nightlife loyalty app. It was in React Native. And I got it to one event. I made an event, and it didn't. It was okay. That app stopped, but it was good because that app stopped just before 2020, so at the end of 2019. Okay, and yeah, that was my crappy killer app idea. Was just a loyalty app for bars and nightclubs in Tokyo. And the next one wasn't exactly my idea, but I was helping sales for an offshore company in Vietnam to sell in Japan. I failed big time. I was only there for about 6 or 7 months. That was one of my big fails as well. The next one was Cameo Copycat. So if anyone knows Cameo, it's where you can pay some celebrity to make a video for you for a shout out or a birthday song or whatever like that. So me and my friend tried to do that in Tokyo. It lasted for 7 months or so. I was coding and he was doing sales, and that's one of my partnership failures. And then number 4 was I bought a whole bunch of rare anime, I wouldn't say rare, but anime goods that you won't usually buy in your country. So for example, toilet paper, tissues, just knick-knack things, just things that you probably wouldn't get at your local, in your own country, Japanese goods store. And I tried to sell it in New Zealand, and it cost quite a bit to set up and all that. And I went through the whole shipping, trying to understand shipping, trying to understand exporting and importing. So that was my 4th failure, and that was while I was freelancing as well. So that's my 4th failure. And then my 5th one is this channel itself. I started off with this channel to try and help foreigners connect with Japanese companies. And then after I got a few companies on board with the automated emailing list of viewers who signed up, but I realized it was going nowhere. And yeah, I was preparing to make a full-on application so that admins or the companies can use it. And well, anyway, that was a big mess. Not a massive mess, but this channel didn't work out to what I wanted it to be. So that's my 5th failure. And each one of these failures took at least, I call it failures, but each one of them took at least 6 months to get to the point where I was like, okay, this is really not working. And you could say, oh, if you just keep pushing at it. And I was like, okay, if I think honestly with any of one of these ideas, if I just kept pushing at it, I would be in a worse situation, in a way worse situation right now. I would be bankrupt or whatever. Or I'm nearly that anyway, but not bankrupt. I mean broke, more or less broke.
I want you to eat shit for the next second.
So I spent a lot of time and money for each one of these projects, and they all failed. And just because I failed it doesn't mean that you or anyone else will. It's all about like execution and tweaking things, I guess. Well, you know, I can't give great advice because I failed, right? So who am I to tell you what will work? I just know what I tried and what didn't work. Oh, but bro, it's because you didn't read 0 to 1. Bro, it's because you didn't read Blue Ocean Strategy. Oh no, you gotta read Business Model Generation. Oh no, you gotta. You know why? Because you gotta crush it. You should have subscribed to Gary Vee. No, you can read all the tech books you want, but in the end, you would never get burned because you can read about putting your finger on the element on a stove. You would get burnt. You could read that and understand it, but until you actually feel the element, you would never really understand what it's like to be burnt. Hope that makes sense. In saying that, I would say that losses are overrated and it's not cool to lose. I know that people are trying to make it these days as failing is awesome and, you know, those kind of things, but I don't think failing is that great. I'd prefer to win, obviously. But in my case, like when what's the saying, if you make your bed and lay in it, when I make my bed, I lay in it. And that bed may not be nice, it might be trashy, it might be bug infested, but I lay in it. So what is the alternative to trying to make it if you're, let's say, a web developer or an engineer of some sort? So why do we chase these so-called fantasy, these so-called dreams, these ideas, these types of lifestyles? Is it money, a Lambo, top 30 under 30? But you're a pleb, 10 steps behind these people, maybe even 100. You didn't go to Harvard. What's a Harvard? With the same energy I've spent in the last 5 years trying to make it, whatever that means, I could have just become really good at one programming library. Like I could be the master of Vue or the master of React, you know. Of course I can make things in these libraries and languages already, but if I just spent 5 years becoming the absolute master, I'll be in a financially a better situation and mentally in a more stable state because you're not going through these highs and lows as you do when you're trying to do something interesting in your life. So that is the alternative, is to become an expert at one thing specifically, and then you can charge $100 an hour to whatever top companies. These are all risks we take or not take in our life, so it's really an individual type of thing. Are you ready to spend the next 2 or 3 years on an idea that would most likely flop? I don't know. How much do you believe in it? How much do you not believe in it? Do you want to be on your deathbed regretting that you didn't try something? Or on your deathbed saying, geez, I tried, I lost a lot of money and time? They both suck, I suppose. That's from Jet Neptune, a philosopher. So in the past 5 years then, you could say I've gained a lot of knowledge, but that knowledge hasn't really, what would you say, translated financially. A silly question one could ask is, would you do it again if you knew what you knew now or something? And these are really silly questions. I don't know what I know now, so why would you even say that? Why would you even ask that? Hindsight 2020. Why would you even? So to make this kind of nice ending, because I'm not a doomer, is that one of my favorite stoners said something along the lines of no one's controlling reality, or
it's not like there is a King's X where gray beards in white coats tend the sacred vestal fires of reality. There is no reality.
So it means that you can do whatever you want to do. So then what's your killer app idea? Don't tell me, because I might take it and become a millionaire. Anyway, I'm going to end the video here. Let me know what you think. Like, sub, check out the Discord and LinkedIn in the description, and I'll be back again. And yeah, I'll keep trying to do something with my life other than just working. It sounds really bad to say it that way. Well, I will be, maybe because I'm stupid. maybe because I am stupid, I'll continue trying to make something. And this channel is just a channel I'll be talking to every month or so. So let me know what you think. Like, sub, Discord, LinkedIn. Trying to make it in Tokyo, but failing constantly.